Maharaj can hear only if you speak through the mic, okay? So,
Yeah, Kiran Prabhu, could you please introduce Maharaj?
voice is low, Whose voice is low here, so I'm just going to increase the volume. Prabhu, can you speak something?
Yes.
Hello.
Is it better?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Maharaj.
All right.
Yes, go ahead and introduction.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Radha Krishna Maharaj is an initiating guru, monk, and spiritual teacher, primarily based in Houston. He travels all over the world, Australia, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and America, giving enlightening talks on spiritual subjects from the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He is also an authority for Vedic studies in the Texas area. Maharaj personally guides his Shiksha and Diksha disciples, nurturing their spiritual growth through deep spiritual insights and practical understanding. Relatable applications of bhakti in everyday life. His talks are known for the profound depth, heartfelt realizations, and the way they connect timeless wisdom to modern living. It is our fortune to hear from Maharaj glories of Srila Prabhupada on this auspicious Srila Prabhupada Disappearance Day. Let us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to welcome Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Maharaj.
Is that it? Am I supposed to start?
Yes, Maharaj, the floor is
Oh, I
yours.
didn't get the cue. So.
Okay, sorry. It's all yours now.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Om Ajnanatamrandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshuzanmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvaya Namah Mukam Garati Vachalam Bangam Langete Girim Yadkrivatamam Vande Shri Gurundena Taranam Paramanandamadam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodato Godaudiya Pushpanto Chitra Sandota Monodo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So, do you want to focus on the temple room? Because otherwise I'm just seeing you, Satyasa.
Maharaj, let me spotlight temple
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
You're
good.
ready now? Okay.
Now I can see more people. Yeah, that's good. All right. So thank you very much, Satyasar Prabhu, for inviting me. I'm a reluctant guest. I'm not a person who like to, be going. What happened? Temple is now blacked out.
Please don't touch anything. Just
Can we see the people in the temple?
no, Maharaj, it's dark.
Yeah.
So 1 minute, I'll call them.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya. That's the thing.
Yes, Maharaj. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for, yeah, okay, now we can see all of you again. Yeah. You're now back in light. Yeah. You're in darkness. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. We're just thanking Satyasar Prabhu and of course all of you for inviting me. So that's very gracious of all of you. I'm full of gratitude. Today is a very. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj.
No, the temple room.
Yes, Maharaj, we are able to hear you.
Okay. If you need you all can adjust your own volumes there. So, yeah.
We can hear you, Maharaj.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So, today is very auspicious day. Our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So our Acharya had his final pastime today in 1977, November, it was in November 15, I believe, yeah. In any case, I thought we can reflect a few things about his early life, all the way to how he has set up ISKCON. So that'll be very nice. Srila Prabhupada was born as Abhaya Charan Day in September 1st, 1896 in Calcutta. Of course, now we call it Kolkata. And he was born into a very staunch, very strongly practicing Vaishnava family. They were mostly more or less mercantile or Vaishya community. They were not so wealthy, but they had enough. But they were very religious. The tradition, Vaishnava tradition, was very strong. Particularly if you all have read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita by Satsvarup Maharaj, you'll find that he gives very nice description in the early days. That is a very good book, a lifetime in preparation. The first two books, I think, is very, very well written, mainly because the devotees were not there when Prabhupada was growing up, but they used so much affection and love. So when they describe it, it is, I think it's the best book. So his father, Gaur Mohan De, you can see in the description how much dedication he had into bringing up his son Abhay into a pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada actually writes in a couple of places in Bhagavatam also, and especially in I think Krishna book in the introduction or somewhere, Prabhupada mentions how what he has learned was everything he has learned was from his father, and his spiritual master solidified everything else. Yeah. So you can understand from that statement that his father was not an ordinary person also. His father was also a pure Vaishnava. And he wanted to raise his children, or all of them, into lovers of Krishna. And we find that whenever sadhus used to come to their home, Gaur Mohan, they would always encourage them to bless his son to be a pure devotee of Radharani. So you can see that mood is always there. Similarly, many of you have children. Many of you are also practicing Krishna consciousness. But we wonder how much you ask the sadhus to bless your own children, or you just not ask for any blessings because you're afraid they will become devotees and not become some materialists. So we also wonder about all of you sitting there. So some of you have just newborn babies and so on. Some of you have older children already working. But in all circumstances, we should always think about just how Srila Prabhupada's parents were bringing him up as devotees. So similarly, that is the duty of all of you, to bring your own children as devotees. Now, at the end of your duty, if they become some asura or whatever, that is not your fault, right? But you should put the effort to raise them into good children. And that is the most important thing. So when from a very young age, because of his upbringing by his father, Srila Prabhupada had an affinity for wanting to take up devotional service very quickly. Across his house, there was a temple that was Radha Govinda temple that was run by the Mulik family, very wealthy, very influential family. And so he would go there and he would watch the pujaris do temple worship, and every day he would spend watching all these things. So from a very young age, he had this ability to absorb spiritual values. Now, I say ability because we have children also, all of us, and then you find that some children like to take up spiritual life, some don't. So no matter where you are, if you expose them, if they take it up, then it's very nice. If they don't, then what to do, right? You can only encourage. So we find in the case of Srila Prabhupada, he was absorbed in spiritual values from a very, very young age. So it is an indication that he is an extraordinary child. Actually, it can tell us that he is already an acharya at that stage. And he's showing how much he is attracted to spiritual things. Later on, one time his father takes him to Jagannath Puri, and then he sees the Ratha Yatra, and he becomes very much excited about Ratha Yatra. And he was only 5 years old at that time. And this became such a spectacular influence for him that when he came back to Calcutta, he told his father, I want to do my own Ratha Yatra. Right, at that age, very young age. And not only he just wanted his father just bought him a small thing, and he said, no, I want the actual cart. You have to build. So out of love for his son, he builds him a Jagannath cart exactly to the detail. And so Prabhupada wanted everything exactly. And so it reflects his early initiative and deep spiritual yearning to imitate the worship that he saw in Puri. So incidentally, the Puri, all the Puri management, they are very unhappy with ISKCON nowadays. Right? You will find that they are making all kinds of news on the internet and on the TV in Bangladesh, everywhere, saying that we are wrong and so on and so on. If Prabhupada did not bring this Puri celebration, Jagannath worship, to the West, nobody would even bother to go to Jagannath Puri except the Indians in India. Instead of being thankful, they are telling all the ISKCON devotees, you can't celebrate this time, you only have to celebrate the same time, all kinds of things they are making noise. What they don't realize is Jagannath already left Jagannath Puri and came to the West because he is getting so much worship from the devotees. So what we see in Srila Prabhupada's mood from the early days is that you can see a blend of religious observance, and then and at the same time there's a regular visit to temples, and he was also learning so much devotional songs, and he learned and understood the rituals of Vaishnava rituals. So similarly, my point to all of you is, as all of you are practicing Krishna consciousness, you should all learn our Acharya's songs, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. All these songs must be learned because there's so much philosophy in these songs that will help us understand. Both Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur, they have put it in simple words, the entire Vaishnava philosophy. Which is one of the things that Srila Prabhupada used to sing. If you hear Prabhupada singing, you'll see so much devotion there is. Because Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and other acharyas who sing, their songs are meant to bring us closer to devotional service and to the Supreme Personality of Godhead also. So that's why it's very important. All these devotional songs and Vaishnava rituals, when Prabhupada in the early days observed and learned, it laid the foundation for the later spiritual journey to the West. And then the other thing you all should recognize from Prabhupada is his unique ability to contextualize Vedic knowledge for audience all over the world. Anyone can understand what he's saying. Very simple language, but at the same time deep philosophy. They can conceptualize and contextualize very nicely. Of course, he grew up in the city of Calcutta. At that time, so much was going on. He was exposed to the challenges of the British rule, how strong they were against Vaishnava philosophy, or actually they were against Vedic culture, and how they were introducing Christianity into and he learned how to use our Vedic understanding, especially Krishna conscious understanding, to resist the efforts of Christianity or even secularization of Indian society. Many times you say, "Oh, I'm Brahmin, you are Vaishya, you are Sudra, so I'm better than you." So all this caused a lot of problem and a cultural identity for Indians. And so Srila Prabhupada's ability was to bring all this into proper context. Now he was studying in both ways, parallel. One thing he was doing was the formal education, and the other thing was the education of Vaishnava traditions at home. So he attended local primary and secondary school before he went to college, Scottish Church College in 1916. And it's a missionary college where they try to convert the local people into Christians like that. So in college, he studied English, philosophy, economics, and then he was supposed to graduate in 1920. But at that time, although he finished the studies, he refused to get graduation because Mahatma Gandhi at that time was saying there should be non-cooperation with the Britishers. So Prabhupada was, yes, I don't want to cooperate with them. And then he was a big Gandhi supporter, and he would wear khadi shirts and so on, made of that cotton that Prabhupada was, Mahatma Gandhi was pushing. So because of that understanding that India was under subjugation, he accepted that Gandhi was correct, and he refused to accept his degree. So you can see already in the early days he was such a strong personality. he was, when something is wrong, he wasn't going to sit down and keep quiet. He was ready to stand up and speak the truth. And so that same mood he brought into his spiritual preaching, when later on you find he was very strong about it. So you can understand the education is rooted in Indian as well as Western world. So he was very uniquely qualified to bridge this cross-cultural gaps, you can say. Very, very uniquely qualified. Yeah. The other thing you will notice is Prabhupada had a very strong command of English language. It's not like, some of us, we study English so that we can get by, but Srila Prabhupada had a very strong understanding, and sometimes the words he used has deeper meaning, and such words are never used nowadays. People don't want to use those words because mostly the culture now is iPhone culture, text messaging, acronym culture, uh, like I know, right? They type as IKR, so everybody knows what it means. So in those days we spell the whole thing. Now everything is acronyms. Like IBM, International Business Machine. When I first studied in IBM, they were giving so many acronyms you have to memorize. So similarly, I think many of you in software industries, you all have to know all those nonsense acronyms. Only you and your company will know. Nobody else in the world will understand. So Srila Prabhupada had this unique ability to understand English, and not only that, he was very good at logic also. He was very logical, and he had good analytical skills, and it was very valuable for him when he was preaching the gospel of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. among the English-speaking audiences. So you can see sometimes in the conversations, you all should read the conversations also of Prabhupada, how people try to speak to Prabhupada and how Prabhupada answers very intelligently. Sometimes so logical, the other person feel like a fool, you know. You know, so this is very nice. We can say our Acharya is very intelligent, not like he's not a fool. So anyone who says that he's a fool is themselves the biggest fools, you know. Now his life actually changed towards spiritualism in 1922 when his friend, I think Narendra Nath Mullik, he brought him to visit Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And at that time, when he visited the ashram, what is that road? I forgot the name of the road. That they came, there's a house there which now ISKCON has bought the place. And then you can go, when you go to Calcutta and visit that, they have made it so nice. So yeah, so they had this amazing meeting. You can say it's legendary now. It's an iconic meeting because at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta, when he first saw Srila Prabhupada, he said, "You are an educated young man. Why don't you preach the message of Krishna or a message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world?" So when Bhaktisiddhanta told him, he was shocked. So he tried to challenge him, you know. He said, "But we can't do save our own country. Why are we preaching, you know?" So he was, in a sense, we can say that he was testing whether Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very qualified or not. But Srila Prabhupada later on, he says, although he questioned Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, internally in his heart, he has already accepted the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his spiritual master. In the very first encounter, first time he saw him, he said, "This is my guru." And then, of course, they had this discussion, and then he was asking, the Britishers already are controlling, we can't do anything. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur answered, you know, all these are temporary, you know. The most important thing is the spirituality, which is permanent, you know. Today will be one government, tomorrow another government. These political things will keep changing, right? So now everyone is crying in America. Another 4 years, maybe things will change, and they all think now they will be happy. And then some clown will come and he will pass a new law, and then you will all cry again. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was explaining to him, like, you know, things in this material world is temporary and situations are in flux. So, but what is most important is everyone has to understand they are actually spirit soul. If they understand that, then they will not be encountering this difficulty of living in this material world. Now, one of the reasons why Srila Prabhupada wasn't so keen on meeting sadhus was he was very skeptical, you can say, about sadhus in general. In those days, the sadhus were very common, dime a dozen, you can say. Mostly they will come around to just make money. Srila Prabhupada one time was in a different city when he was doing business, and he looked from his apartment, he looked outside, and in a home, he saw this man who was married man. He was going in the morning he thought he was going to go to work, but actually the man changed into a sannyas vesh from his home. And then he would go walk out. And then Prabhupada saw that he went out to start begging. And in the evening, this sannyas came home and then put the money at home and changed to his Grihastha ashram, and then he's living like this. So in those days, there were so many cheaters. And Srila Prabhupada used to say, if you want a cheater, there are so many cheaters to cheat you. If you want true spiritual life, then they don't compromise. They will tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he saw Maharaj's presence and clarity of his missionary vision for the entire world was so powerful, and it impressed Srila Prabhupada very much. And thereafter, they had a very strong disciple and mentor bonding. And that shaped Srila Prabhupada for the rest of his life, actually. So every major decision Srila Prabhupada's, you will see later life in his preaching work and so on, comes back to his initial connection with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the aims of Vaishnava philosophy and tradition was instilled in Srila Prabhupada's heart. So Prabhupada insisted, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada insisted on spreading Krishna consciousness. He said, don't worry about political condition. More important is the spiritual reality of this world. And that's what stuck in Srila Prabhupada's heart. Similarly, many of you are practicing. So the mood of Srila Prabhupada is to go out and preach. So you should have that mood also to get his mercy. Otherwise, your existence won't be so meaningful. Now, of course, if you can't really preach, then you should try to help the temple. Particularly now you all are growing, your congregation is growing, and your temple expansion is expanding also. So you need to start going out and telling people to support the building of the new temple, right? And so you can, why? Because more people can come, you can give them better facility. And then if they have better facility, they will be more willing to listen. Nowadays, people look at how you look and then before they listen to you. In those days, if you are a sadhu, people will respect you. Now, even sadhu must look good. Otherwise, they are not interested in listening to sadhus, so, when I go out traveling, I must have nice iron pressed kurta, everything. Otherwise, they say, look at this guy, he looks like a ruffian or whatever, So those humility, those kind of humility we practice in relating to people, but externally we should show that we have good attire, we come from a good neighborhood and things like that. That's what people want to see, because there's so many nonsense in this world. And so people are very distrustful. And so by our philosophy, by our action, Srila Prabhupada also, wherever he went, he always was shaved up, he had his tilak, and he had a nice kurta and dhoti. So in the same way, all of you should also represent our movement in a nice way, and in the same time go out and support the preaching programs and bring more people and build the temple, that you all have taken a thing. Don't sit down and wait for miracle to happen. The real miracle is all of you have become devotees. That is the miracle. If you didn't become devotees, you'll be doing some nonsense, right? Look at your life and then you think what you will be doing if you did not become a devotee, unnecessarily you'll be wasting time. Now you're spending time to think about Krishna and his devotees. So anyway, coming back to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's initiation was in, I think, formally in 1933. So prior to that, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a yatra in Vrindavan. So once Srila Prabhupada went to the yatra, and at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta was giving class, and the conch shell was blown. So all the devotees stood up and went for arti. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati looked at them and said, they are going to see a stone. They are not seeing God. And then Srila Prabhupada was sitting and listening. And so what Bhaktisiddhanta was Saraswati Thakur is saying is, you cannot on your own go and see God. So many people come to the temple, but if you don't listen to the philosophy, you don't understanding what you're seeing actually. You will not even accept the form of Krishna. You think he is just a stone. So it is therefore very important to hear from sadhus when we go to pilgrimage, and qualified people we should hear. Not any Tom, Dick, or Harry speaking, but we should know this is a qualified, bona fide sadhu, and I'm going to listen from them. So when Bhaktisiddhanta saw that this boy was listening very carefully, he said, he is qualified to take initiation. So when he was recommended, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I have already marked him to take initiation. So in 1933, he got his initiation, and then at that time, when his name was Abhay Charan, he changed it to Abhay Charanaravinda. Okay, Das. So that was his name, Abhay Charanaravinda Das. So sometimes even many of you, your names may not be changed by your guru, or he may change your name. But generally, if your name is connected to Krishna, there's no need to change. We can add a few things, just a few things. Okay. So therefore, by giving him that name, we can understand that Srila Prabhupada is always taking strong shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. Not like sometime then people come to temple because they are in distress. They want wealth, they want knowledge, or they want to know more about Krishna. That's all. But mostly people come because they are in distress or in search of wealth. But here you can see Prabhupada's understanding of Krishna, his shelter he takes is on a different level. So Prabhupada never approached anyone for wealth or curing disease or anything like that. So it's important for us also. Of course, when you are in difficulty, you have nobody, you have no choice, you will pray to Krishna to help you. That is okay. But we shouldn't take it as a free thing to come always to Krishna and say, I have this problem, my wife is quarreling with me, my husband is speaking bad about me, and then you come to Krishna and disturb Krishna like that. No. Okay, so sometimes you may approach Krishna because you don't know who to approach. You approach everyone, nobody wants to help you. And then yes, we understand you approach Krishna. So Prabhupada received both first and second initiation at the same time, at once. So therefore you can see his sincerity, his earnestness, his faith in his guru is so strong, his guru nishtha, that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati understood this person is very qualified, and he gave him first and second initiation. So from 1930s onwards, 1940s, Srila Prabhupada was managing his business responsibility as well as his family responsibilities. He was operating a pharmaceutical company. I think it was Bose, right? Bose Pharmacy or something like that. And although he was doing all that, his heart was always in going out with his god brothers for preaching engagement. Like Bhakti Viksha programs or meeting people. Every week he would go out with his sadhus, his sannyas god brothers to preach. He was so much into not losing sight of the mission to fulfill his guru's order, that preaching is important. Of course, his family didn't support. So it is very interesting. His whole family didn't support him. We shouldn't think that they are all asuras or demons. No. What you should understand is part of Krishna Leela or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, that they were arranged in such a way that Prabhupada had to go through difficulty with his family. If Prabhupada's family was very nice to him, maybe Prabhupada would not have taken sannyas and traveled. But because his wife was kind enough to sell the Bhagavatam and buy a biscuit for tea, Srila Prabhupada could then take sannyas later on in his life. So whenever in your home your wife sells something, spiritual books, and gives you biscuit, then you know it's time for you to take sannyas also, all of you. Okay, so and if you are afraid of that, it's not good. So during Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, one of his sannyasi disciple, he initiated, and then while he was giving instruction, his former wife came and dragged the sannyas out of the temple. So the man didn't fight his wife, he just allowed his wife to drag him back. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, when he saw that, he started crying. He said, and they were looking at him, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, what can I do? I cannot save this jiva. So it's very important. We should use our life for the order of the Guru, not for our own sense enjoyment. Because whatever you enjoy, it's all temporary in this material world. Yeah. Whatever you do, you watch some Netflix, Bollywood show, or Tamil Nadu movie, or whatever nonsense you all like to watch. All those things are not going to take you back to Godhead. Yeah? It will only bring you back to Bharat Varsha to play cricket or watch more movies only. If that's what you want, and then you'll be looking for trying to get green card to US again. But this time you have to pay $100,000. Yeah. So it's not going to be an easy life when you come back, I'm telling you. So in 1954, Srila Prabhupada took Vanaprastha. Okay. That means after he saw so many biscuit at home, he was fed up with all this biscuit eating, so he left home. He decided to become a Vanaprastha. He didn't want to see any more biscuits at home. So he was focused more on writing. When he was writing to preach. He was writing articles. Similarly, when you do newsletters, you should have 1 or 2 articles from your congregation. You all should write articles where you can preach strongly. But at the same time, you balance views so that people do not get angry. Right? So preach like that. And then 5 years later, in 1959, Srila Prabhupada accepted at Vishwambara Mahotsava. At that time, he took sannyas. He accepted sannyas. And he was given, he took sannyas from his godbrother, Keshava Swami, in the Gaudiya Math. And there were so many problems in Gaudiya Math at that time. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati formed the GBC at that time. He wanted 12 people to be in charge of the whole movement in the Gaudiya Math, but his disciples were fighting. So much fighting. The Gaudiya Math had so much land. They were so wealthy in Calcutta. The fighting was so much that they had to sell all the land to pay the lawyer's fee. And they lost so much property in Calcutta and became very poor after that. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada saw all that and realized that he can go and do something positive. And after taking sannyas, he tried to preach. Still, his godbrothers were not willing to help him. They were still fighting so much. So when he took, at that time, incidentally, during his Guru Maharaj's presence also, Prabhupada used to write very nicely and articles and so on. So much so, his own godbrothers gave him the title Bhakti Vedanta. Okay. And so when he took sannyas, he was given the title Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So he was Abhaya Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta. Now the title is Swami. Yeah. So as soon as he got the sannyas, his mood also changed more, because now he realized he has to really fulfill his Guru Maharaj's desires. His Guru Maharaj wanted him to go and preach in the West. And so first, before he can go to the West, Srila Prabhupada was thinking, I need to bring translated scriptures. So he started to write on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. He also wanted to do Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it was taking him too long. And he was also doing back to Godhead, So in 1944, that's where very first time he printed and released Back to Godhead. He was writing himself, he did the proofreading, he did the editing, and then he would distribute. He was an old man, such an old man in the 60s, going door to door selling his newsletter. And people were just paying 1 or 2 annas or paisas or whatever he was getting. And it was very humiliating, you can say humble endeavor. He only did it because he wanted to please his guru. And so that was his main thing. But then one time someone says all this newsletter is only a short thing, people will read and they throw away newsletter. And so someone said to him, actually better you write a book. So then he was thinking, this is what Krishna wants me to do because it's coming from this person and it makes sense. So then Srila Prabhupada translated the first 2 cantos. And then after that, he also translated Bhagavad Gita, and he went to the West. Of course, his Bhagavad Gita, even though he brought it in the West, they were stolen. The first time. So Prabhupada had to rewrite the whole Bhagavad Gita as it is that you have now, all over again in New York. So much austerity. And he followed the system of his guru's translation, word for word, Sanskrit to English, and then combine it into a translation with deep philosophical explanation in the purports. And then when he was in US, he established BBT, which is still the main book trust that helps publish Srila Prabhupada's books. His contribution is amazing. Anyone who read Srila Prabhupada's books become devotee. Do you know that? Even those who say they don't want to become devotee, they remember what Prabhupada's books say, and they will use in their discussion also. They may not practice, but they actually covered devotees because his philosophy is stuck in their brain. They cannot give it up. And so therefore, it's very important for us to go out and give people books. And the other thing is, Srila Prabhupada says, I will forever live in my books. Right? So therefore, when you give the book to anyone, Srila Prabhupada is the one who's convincing them. You are not convincing them. Right? We should never think, I don't think that I convince anyone. I know that because whatever I have is coming from Prabhupada. The package may look different, but the information is Prabhupada's. So we have to accept that. And then you find that because of that, because Srila Prabhupada is in his words, in the words that we use, people are convinced. And his commentaries, you will see amazing commentaries. And his commentaries are actually what Krishna is saying. Everything he wants to preach is exactly, you will see, if you read very carefully, it's coming from different parts of the Bhagavatam, different parts of Bhagavad Gita. Every commentary has something from that. And then the other thing is his experience as growing up in Calcutta, his experience traveling around the world. He puts it into his purports to show people how to relate to spiritual life and why it's important to relate to spiritual life. Okay. So when he came to America, he established ISKCON, and then by 1970s, right, 500,000 copies were issued. BTG actually, 500,000 issues. That's amazing, Then nowadays it's less actually because very few devotees are buying because they know everything now, right? You talk to the devotees, they are, yeah, I know. No, we should still buy Back to Godhead magazine. Why? You support the BBT they need funding to publish books. And not only that, you will learn many things also. Every time you read the BTG, you will learn. And not only that, you can give that BTG to your colleagues in the workplace and say, hey, there's a nice article here you want to read, and you can pass on like that. they don't have to be Indians. Anyone you can give and say, I learned a lot of this. I really like this book. Do you want to read or something? And you give like. And our movement has grown so many temples now, right? More than 500 temples, 800 different centers around the world, so many farms, almost 100 small to large farms, centers all over the place. And now BTG is also in digital. You can go online and read BTG also. Um, Now, when Srila Prabhupada came to US, that was in 1965. He was 69 years old, and he had so much difficulty trying to get a passage and a visa. So difficult. But finally, due to Krishna's arrangement, somehow some family, what is that family in Philadelphia?
Agarwal?
Yes, thank you. The
Sally
Agarwal, huh? Huh?
Sally Agarwal.
Sally Agrawal. Yeah, so Gopal and Sally. Okay. There's a friend who in India told Prabhupada that his son will take care of them. So when he went to Philadelphia and New York and they came, he went from Boston Port, he left and they took care of him. And Srila Prabhupada, from that time onwards, he became, he realized, he wrote the poem, Markani Desh, right? And the Bhagavata. And then he tells to Krishna, you give me this title Bhakti Vedanta, but what is the use, Uh, proof that I am Bhakti Vedanta, that I can preach. So you please make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. I'm your puppet now. So you can see how much humility he professes in that poem, both to Krishna and to his spiritual master. And he cries out to ask them for blessing so that he can actually preach. So then he didn't have much in America, only 40 rupees, maybe $5 at that time. And there was so much culture shock. There was hardly anything to eat. Now you can go everywhere and there's vegetarian stores, right? And those changes happen because of Srila Prabhupada. This in US, every supermarket you go, they have a section for vegetarians now. Yeah. And it's because of Prabhupada. Before Prabhupada, what is that guy's name? The impersonalist, Vivekananda, right? He came and nothing happened, He had a big talk in United Nations and all. No, nothing happened. But look what Prabhupada did, Not only he created a whole generation of vegetarians, right? We also have vegans also, although vegans are the extreme version of vegetarians. But the point is, because of him, people became more interested in spirituality as well as feeling empathy for other living entities also. So Srila Prabhupada took so much effort to get his visa to come. He survived 2 heart attacks, and then and the famous ship is Jaladutta. Jaladutta, just like Yamadutta, this is Jaladutta. And the Jaladutta carried him, and Srila Prabhupada had the heart attack. He could see that it was Krishna rowing the Jaladutta. So it is not ordinary, okay? Srila Prabhupada explained to his disciple later on that Krishna personally came and massaged his heart. And then he also, in the 10 Dasa Avatar, they also row the boat, Such amazing personality. All 10 avatars came to make sure Srila Prabhupada was successful. So very difficult. He was lonely. He was even thinking, that I should just go back to Vrindavan. But then he was thinking, how can I do that? My guru has asked. And so finally he cried, and then Krishna slowly, he showed how Prabhupada was such a magnetic personality. His chanting is so pure, and he attracted so many young Americans. And because of all that, you and I are here. Right? We are all here because of the devotees. And so It's 8:15 now. I could talk for another few hours, but, but we'll stop here because we want to appreciate what he went through. So much he had to go through to give us this, and our lives have changed. All of you can reflect that we were doing so many nonsense things in our life. Now you can look at your life and understand how good you have become, but you are humble because you understand you are still a fallen person. And that's our mood, and we have no one but Srila Prabhupada to thank. Srila Prabhupada is our preeminent Shiksha Guru. So if you are in doubt, even with devotees, if you speak to them, just go to Srila Prabhupada's conversations, his lectures, read his books, you get all the answers. If you are sincere, he will talk to you in your dreams also. And he'll give you instruction also. So Srila Prabhupada ki.
Sure. So
Okay, I'll stop here.
you will take some questions.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Devotees, please.
If you have questions.
If you have questions, please ask.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Hare Krishna.
very wonderful class. I just thought if
I do not know who you are. You could at least introduce.
You can show your face, Mataji. Come in front of the camera.
Or at least say who you are. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandot
Okay.
Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much and wonderful class. I am just thinking just now, if Prabhupada's name is Abhaycharana Vindan Swami, then why we called Srila Prabhupada?
Oh,
That's my question.
Yeah, that's a nice question. After Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON and he was preaching around the world, so one of his disciples came, and at that time they also understood that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was called Prabhupada also. And so they asked him, some devotees, they got together and say, we can call our Swami also Prabhupada. So they asked him, can we call you Prabhupada? And Prabhupada looked at them and said, yes, you can call me Prabhupada. And of course, when they started calling him Prabhupada, his god brothers became very unhappy in India. They say, how you can use the name Prabhupada, So Srila Prabhupada then explains both in his purports and to his disciple and so on. When someone like him can go all over the world and make so many people into Vaishnavas, they are at the level of a Prabhupada. Prabhupada means one who is at all other masters fall at the feet of this personality. So therefore, he proved to us that his ability is at the highest level of devotional service. And so that's why he allowed his disciples to call him Prabhupada. It's not an ordinary title. Actually, we all shouldn't use any title because we are very fallen people. And so you find in ISKCON, none of the gurus, anyone, we use any title. We just say Guru and Guru Maharaj, and that's it. That's all. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the question. Yeah. Another question? Right? There's no question about Prabhupada. Amazing. It's your Acharya,
Kiran Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj,
Can you hold the microphone closer?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
I'm audible.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Maharaj, I wanted to ask one thing. Prabhupada really focused on book distribution.
Yes.
On distributing spiritual literature. How did he, and we see that when distributing Prabhupada books really changes one's heart and it really enlightens that soul to take up a spiritual life. So how did that motivation come for Prabhupada? And because other mission. I mean, maybe we can say other religion. I mean, I won't say it religion, but nobody focuses on book distribution as much as Prabhupada did. So, if you could highlight about that.
Yeah, that's a nice question. Now, Srila Prabhupada's books are not just like you were saying, in other religious organizations, they do not emphasize because they rely only on their main grantha. They have their own main books, and so they feel there's no need for anyone for understanding, except they should just read their grantha and come to their own conclusion, which is what you see in most of these other practicing group. Everyone comes to their own understanding and there's no commonality. There's no proper understanding of God and everything. So in time, when everyone comes up with their own understanding, over a period of time, people don't understand who God really is. The qualities of God is misunderstood. And we start to think God is like me, and eventually all these practitioners become impersonal. And you see that also. Although they profess to pray to this God or that God, they are all very impersonal. So Srila Prabhupada saw that. That's one thing. And second thing is, Srila Prabhupada was asked by his guru to write books, translated to the foreign language, especially English, because they have vision. They can see the whole world. Everyone is going to speak English. It's like I'm speaking English and you are speaking. So in the same way, everywhere in the world you go, that is, whether people like it or not, that is the medium by which a lot of us communicate nowadays. So that's a second reason why he wrote it in English. The third reason he wrote it is because our acharyas are on a different level. All our acharyas, they know how to deliver a message that can change a person's heart. Okay, so not simply giving class and so on. They had understood that if we put our realization on paper, then we are giving opportunity for future generation to also get the same level of realization. That's it. And then the final point I want to say is, Srila Prabhupada once told his disciple that this is not my translation. Everything I'm saying is been spoken to me by Krishna himself. Yeah. There is a conversation where you say Krishna speaks and I take down the notes like that. Okay. So all this combined together has made whatever Srila Prabhupada put down, he has actually taken from all the different acharyas' point of view, and then he put it into this book. And these books are so powerful and they are valid for the next 10,000 years. Okay, so these books will be available for at least 10,000 years before Kali Yuga becomes prominent again. Actually, you are in the golden age now. You may not think it looks like golden, but the reality is golden age because you can chant and go back to Godhead. That is the golden age. Okay, so these are the reasons why Srila Prabhupada put it in the book and why our books are very important. Even if I can memorize the entire book and speak, it is not like. But if I don't deliver Prabhupada to them, then it's no potency. Yeah, but if I deliver our acharya and this is the person who gave me that knowledge and I'm sharing with you, that has potency. Because we are showing people that I am humble. I'm not claiming anything. This is the work of the acharya, and he is humble. He's just put down everything from what he heard. So our Guru Parampara is connected, and so most other organizations, they have no connection, and so therefore there's no potency also. Even if there's connection, then it's some kind of nonsense connection. Okay.
So Maharaj, I do have one question.
Yes.
How do you feel Srila Prabhupada's presence in your life today after being in the movement and practicing for more than 4 decades?
For me, Prabhupada is very alive today for me. It's a question. It's not like Prabhupada is gone and we are separated. I don't feel that. For me, Prabhupada is always there. And I have access to him through his books. I can see him, I can hear him, I can listen to his lecture. He's there for me. Actually, when I first came to the movement, I didn't know Prabhupada had left his body. So I always felt Prabhupada is there. I will meet him one day and I'll talk to him. So that mood from the beginning has been like that. And so although the books are there, I see Prabhupada's effect in people also. How he has transformed someone who has come across his books. And I hear Prabhupada through different people also. Because mostly devotees say Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that. Maybe 50% of the time or 70% of the time Prabhupada didn't say it, but they say Prabhupada said it. So by hearing Prabhupada say it all the time, I see Prabhupada in my life all the time. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have one question. So you're telling that we should write articles, right? Prabhu Maharaj, can you throw some light on that? Like how it would be, how much big it would be, and like
No, it's like
plans to.
it is like, people write blogs, right? Many devotees write blogs to express what they feel and so on. So similarly, you're in Austin, you can look at what is going on in Austin, and then you see why they are suffering or why they are not successful, and then try to connect it to if they are Krishna conscious or in the past in the Bhagavatam, similar situations happen and how the devotees approach those situations and how they recovered from the suffering like that. So in your own experience, you can also explain to a common reader to say what are the challenges you went through, but how you overcame those challenges also. Sometimes you were successful, sometimes not, but always you felt satisfied because you have Krishna in the center of your life. Yeah. But most people don't have, so they take up different ways of expressing their frustration. But when you practice, we don't become frustrated. We just feel that, okay, I can't do it, that's okay, Krishna will take care, now I'll focus on other things. Right? So we should be thinking like that. So when you write like that, you are actually helping people to also formulate ideas and plans in their mind to become a better person in society. You can write about things about empathy, how you felt for people and how you want to help them. So you can awaken those feelings in such other people in the common society in Austin also, simply by writing a small article that is very encouraging for everyone. In this society, everything people put down everyone and everything else. So therefore, everyone feels discouraged and there's no hope like that. So the article you should write must make them feel there's hope for life and life is wonderful because there is God. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay.
Any questions online, devotees?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you really enlightened the day today. I just kept meditating on Prabhupada's lotus feet today. And I seek your mercy so that I can progress a little bit more on this bhakti path.
Yeah, I can bless you if you show your face.
Prabhuji,
Everyone-
my camera is not working, Prabhu.
Okay, there you go. How will Krishna know who you are?
I'm your
See the
servant, Prabhu. Radha
devotees, he
Krishna
knows
Das.
you. Okay. Radha Krishna Das. Who is your Guru Maharaj?
His Holiness Siddhartha Swami Maharaj.
Siddhartha Swami Maharaj. Okay, I'll pray to your Guru Maharaj and Krishna and Srila Prabhupada that he bless you so that you become a very active preacher in Austin also and participate very nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Yes, Maharaj. We'll do a quick thank you note. Kiran Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your class. Maharaj, you have very nicely talked about Prabhupada and highlighted the immense purity and austerity that he had in fulfilling his Guru's mission. Also, one of the points that you have talked about is the Guru Nishtha that he had for Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj. And he gave life for the order of his Guru, and how Prabhupada really wanted to fulfill his Guru Maharaj's desire. And he took preaching actually to as the main motto of his life. And Prabhupada focused on book distribution and writing spiritual literature very much. Maharaj, today we have got inspiration actually for us to reinforce our efforts to really spread about our temple and Prabhupada mission. And thank you so much, Maharaj, for having enlightened us and inspiring us to follow our spiritual journey more seriously. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Let
Thank
us
you.
chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for Maharaj's well-being. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maharaj, we would really want to hear from you more and more, and we would like to take your blessings more and more. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you very
try
much, Maharaj,
to-
for
Yeah.
valuable
Thank you,
answers.
all of you. Okay, Satya sir, take it away.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So thank you. We'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, we'll be having Damodar Ashtakam.